Hi folks, welcome back. Hope everybody's keeping well. So today we're going to be looking at a track called Freak by the band VOLA. This is not something I've ever heard. I'm familiar with the band VOLA. I've been listening to them sort of on and off for several years, and I do have one or two other reaction/analysis videos on my channel of VOLA. I think I've done at least one, maybe two. It's been a while though, so this one has been requested by one of my monthly VIP patrons over on Patreon, Fall of Zeal. So thanks for the request. So the format of this is we're going to listen to it right through uninterrupted for first time hearing reaction, and then I'm going to go through it again and sort of give you further thoughts, maybe break it down a little bit, might do some stuff on piano guitar, we'll see. See what happens. So without further ado, let's get going.
I forgot who shares my name.
That was lovely. Really nice. I like the change of register at the very end there, the voice coming down into a lower register. Really nice, because the majority of it's all up quite high. Yeah, it was just really nice. Lots of major chords this morning. Wasn't quite prepared for so many major chords. It's a good example of how you can make major chords sound good. Let me clarify that. I like so much of minor chords and dissonances and music that's always tinged with melancholy and darkness. That's my sort of staple. Love that, regardless of genre. So usually major chord after major chord. It's kind of difficult to find a song, excuse me, that has an overall major feel that doesn't sound kind of cheesy to me. So they've got this real sort of drowsy vibe going on, which is maybe why, because you got that sort of, there's a heaviness to it. Not a heaviness in terms of metal, but there's a weight to everything. There's a real drowse, which maybe counteracts all of the major key stuff. Who knows? Yeah. I guess I should state the obvious. We're probably all thinking it, aren't we? Really, massive Steven Wilson Porcupine Tree vibes. First time I've heard that from this band. I think the rhythmic things that are happening between the drums and the bass, particularly through the verses, helps give it a far more sort of unique, original kind of stamp. There's something about the chord progressions and the melodies and things like that really reminds me of Steven Wilson and Porcupine Tree. And listen here, that can't be a bad thing, can it? So yeah. Shall we go back through then and have a look? What key are we in? I think we're in F sharp major. That's going to be nice for the guitar. Beautiful guitar solo in there, by the way. And something I really liked was at the very end, where when the chorus, the sort of outro chorus came back in, that it was almost like it wasn't almost, it was a duet between the singer and the guitarist. The singer would give the first phrase of the melody, and then rather than singing the second part, the guitar would answer. So the question and answer duet thing between the two lead instruments there. Beautiful, really nice. Beautiful lead tone as well. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to go back through it. We'll talk a little bit about the mix, the different things that are going on there, and any other thoughts that occur to me. But really like this. Please consider taking a moment to check out my other channel, JW Soundworks, where you will find unique cover song performances. Newly composed piano arrangements. And all of my self-composed original music. So, okay, in the introduction there, so obviously you can hear that there's like a sort of synth in the background that's giving us the chorus. So we are actually starting off with the chorus there, and that's planting the seed of the chorus that comes up later on. Um, Beautifully recorded acoustic guitar. The strumming seems to be going between a sort of relaxed down, sort of spacious kind of a rhythmic sort of strumming that's not just constant, if you know what I mean. It's kind of lazy, but in time. And then the second half, it sounds almost like there's like a steady kind of quaver rhythm or eighth note rhythm, depending on where you're watching from. Um, some nice bass notes popping out there. And I like the introduction as well. We get this roll in there. It can be quite difficult to start a song, when you're writing a song and you've got, say, like a chorus or a hook or whatever, and you want to come in with that at the start. You don't want to just always just start straight in. So listen to what they do. They do this little roll. Big, huge snare sound. It's the pad, the synth pad. Spacious guitar strumming. Different strumming pattern there. Bass notes coming through. So what's the chord structure there? I mean, I think established that we're in F sharp major. Oh, these are really sort of spacey. Did I comment on the sci-fi nature of VOLA before? I think I might have said something about VOLA and making me think of sci-fi soundtracks. So F sharp major, down to D major, down to B major. So we're going in reverse, down in thirds. Or I guess you could say we're going up, F sharp major, up, what do you want to call that? Up a sixth, depending on what way you want to look at it. But it's falling, isn't it? There is something sort of big weighty about that. Yeah, it's a nice progression, isn't it? So what else do we hear in there? Let's see, before we move on. Bit of guitar.
I'm turning to 10, but you never hear me speak. Your mouth resorts to making your nonsense leak.
Yeah, it's those ba-bum, which I guess is really the genty kind of stuff, isn't it? I kind of started to grow a little bit weary of gent, I have to say. Would it be around maybe 2016, 2017? I feel like it was around there. I was really listening to a lot of it. 8-string stuff and all, lots of animals as leaders, and of course Meshuggah and Phil Viljarta, or I'm not actually sure how to pronounce their name. Tesseract, lots of bands, excuse me, that have like a real heavy genty kind of thing going on, and I started to get really sort of a bit, fatigued listening to it all. I feel like this is a really clever way because it's such a cool thing to have that sort of sporadic, what the genty kind of rhythm is, but as amazing as bands like Meshuggah are, it's kind of like just unadulterated, just straight in your face. Like that's what you're getting, just blasted by it all the time. I like the way they're incorporating that element, the rhythmic element of it, but in a sort of dynamic and sort of emotional. Well, not that the other stuff isn't emotional, but multi-layered emotional. It's not just rage and aggression. I'm being a little bit facetious, like, so don't take me too literally, but you should know what I'm trying to hint at here. So you got this drowsy kind of feel, like, you know, the acoustic guitar, but you got that rhythmic sort of staccato kind of thing going underneath. It's a lovely mixture. The two work really well. And the vocals, do you notice, not pushed at all? They're sung in a very sort of delicate kind of manner.
To making your nonsense leak.
Cool guitar effects, panning. It's like a tremolo moving back and forward. Open hi-hat. Sounds like a kind of flanger effect going on somewhere.
You're building from plastic chairs.
Bass notes just popping out.
Ask away,
The right cymbal.
and you begin.
So I don't know why it's becoming a theme now. Every time I press spacebar, it's not working. I don't know what has happened. Something has happened, but yeah, anybody that's been watching my recent videos, you notice I'm having a real nightmare with the spacebar. Like there, it's working, and yet you see me pressing it before and it wasn't working. Anybody knows why this is happening, let me know. Oh, lost my train of thought. Yeah, the harmony hasn't changed, I think is what I was going to say. It's the same chord progression right from the very start. A minute in, normally that would be, you know, alarm bells for me. I'd be like, why are we still using the same chords? This is boring, turn it off. They've got the feel though, and they've got the complexity and sophistication in the rhythmic things. So for somebody who's a real muso and loves to hear lots of things happening, keeping the harmony simple and peppering everything with all of these really interesting parts, there's no tediousness or repetitiveness, despite the fact that the chord sequence is repetitive. Very good, very clever songwriting.
I took your ask away, and you became this underwhelming freak that we will not miss. I took your mask away, and you became this.
There's a really cool sort of synth patch that's being used in there. It's not quite good enough. I mean, I do know my synths and things like that, but I'm not quite good enough to sort of pinpoint what that is. But it's very sort of monophonic in nature. It could be a Moog, I guess. I don't know. Right. There was. That was the part where we got the first chord change. Does it actually change, or is it just the rhythm? It has to be a B flat minor, isn't it? I guess if we're in an F sharp major, that would be an A sharp minor chord. I don't really think of things in A sharp though, so I guess the key could be G flat, in which case that would be a B flat minor. Don't get me started on enharmonics. A lot of guitarists kill me. You know, it's like a guitarist when they go to play an F chord saying it's E sharp. No, it's F. It's F. Anyway, yeah, so it's that chord in it. It was just up a semitone back to the B. Second verse. Wee bit more in the bass drum there. More groovy.
You're spoiling the end of episode 1 to 4.
Something I really love is the fact that, you know, the kick drum and the bass are so together, but they actually sort of do their own thing from time to time, and it's all very cleverly worked out. Da-dum, ba-dum, you hear that single bass note afterwards. Rhythm section are having a blast here, like bass face. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yes.
1, 2, 4.
Hear the single note. Guitar and keyboards up here swirling around.
But you still drag me down.
It's that drowsy feel. I think we've like a tambourine shakery kind of thing going in there, which is, you know, it's a rock music thing, isn't it? Gotta have that in there. Just as long as don't throw a cowbell in, it's all right. But I think there's possibly like an arpeggiated thing going on, either with the synths or with the guitar, maybe a tremolo. You're getting that, you know, you play a chord, but you get this kind of sort of effect, but it's not played. And you get a different sort of effect when it's not played like that. It's just more of like a kind of electronic kind of thing, you know, a computerized kind of thing. It has a different sort of quality of tone and timbre.
I'm under siege, but here I stand my ground. I took
That's the other thing, I guess that's the other obvious thing though, is that talking about the djenty influence, there's nothing heavy in terms of like heavy guitar tones and big crash cymbals and all the rest of it. Do you hear that? It's just really sort of laid back groove. But I don't know, clean guitars or slightly distorted guitars, it's really, really nice. They're sort of really playing with the formula, like, you know, taking all the real elements of very, very heavy music, putting it in this sort of delicate sort of scenario. Very groovy, of course, and it does have weight, like I said, but there's a delicateness and a lightness to everything, which I really like. Subverting the genre, I guess. Backing vocals. Something I do really like there is the way the vocals push ahead. You know, I think you probably noticed that when I was showing you. You know, well, there is dissonance in that if you think about that, because if we're going to D major, that's an E. So it's like a D9. And the dissonance is highlighted in a way there because the singer is providing the dissonant note and it's being put in not on a downbeat but an offbeat or an upbeat, you know. Resolve, you know. So it's very subtle, but yeah, very effective.
I took your mask away and you became this underwhelming freak that we will not miss. Hiding the code to your human charm.
Laying into the acoustic there, heavier. Backing vocals, beautiful. Lots of tom work in the drums there. Different vibe altogether. This is solo. This where the solo come in. Super drum fill. Very rounded tone on the guitar, you know. A lot of times you get a very sort of high mids, which I like sort of bit of treble, the old Brian May treble booster, you know, bit of treble, bit of mids sort of coming through, but the guitar actually has a bit of the tone sort of rolled off, very, very. Yeah, that kind of thing. I have a lot of gain, like, and I want to keep this going, so I don't want to worry about getting it too precise with the tone, like, but that's what my ears are hearing, you know. And it's very melodic, isn't it? It's not just a showy kind of thing. Oh, most replayed, the solo. Yes. Yes. So, where'd it go? Oh, come on, spacebar. That's really nice. I think, am I clipping? I don't know. Oh, it's need more coffee. Reusing the same motifs. Clever. You hear that? That's, to me, that's, I love that kind of guitar playing. You know, where you're getting the same phrase being played, da 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 da, ba da ba ba ba, and then elaborated on. It's not just like, what key are we in? We're in F sharp. And it gets silly, you know. Why is that so clippy? Let me take that down a wee bit. All those sort of wee subtle bends. That's lovely. Very short as well. Leave us wanting more. There's that bit where I was saying to you about, you know, so the vocals come in, you kind of think, well, that's it. You know, guitar, you back in your corner there, guitarist. But, no, a bit of a duet goes on here. Actually, and there's a... It's more major sounding. It's that note. That note. So that's an F. So change from yeah, it's more major sounding, isn't it, than what it was earlier on. Don't forget, guys, technically my second time listening to the song, so I'm not going to get it perfect, am I?
I took your mask and you became.
The song would actually work just with the vocal and the acoustic, wouldn't it? I'd love to hear him singing it with this low register.
Who shares my name?
Unresolved ending. Lovely. Yeah, thank you very much for this request. Fall of Zeal. Head mounted sideways just came up there. Recommended. That was one I did before. So yeah, this is super band. Super band. Love it. Love it. It's like I was saying to you about the Genty stuff. I was listening to VOLA way back. I can't remember 2017, 2018 or whatever. I remember listening to Applause of a Distant Crowd. There was another VOLA album that I had, and those two albums got me to work and back for a little while. You know, I would listen to the album as I was driving away, and maybe, you know, helped me overtake a few cars along the journey, you know, and get to my destination a bit faster, like, you know, bit of music on there, get the foot down, and drive very safely, of course. Right, guys, Hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks for watching. If you did enjoy it, please do subscribe. Consider supporting me. There's Patreon. I have lots of my own music. I write instrumental, progressive kind of stuff. And yeah, more than that, I've chiptune music and different things as well. So the Bandcamp link is there. I do covers. I do classical piano stuff. Yeah, I do a bit of everything. Anyway, and talk a bit of shite as well, as you can tell if you've made it this far. But yeah, that's me wrapping up. Take it easy. See you next time. If you're passionate about piano, whether as a player or listener, or if you're considering online lessons or masterclasses, please visit my YouTube channel, JW Pianoworks. There you'll discover a wealth of piano performances, with many more to come. Based on demand, I'll also be introducing video tutorials for piano pieces. Thank you.